This is the Government Week in Review for the week ending Friday, February 9th, 2024. I am Chrisanne Mitchell. Coming up in the broadcast, 17 major activities marks Phase 2 of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence celebrations. This story and more in the Government Week in Review.
3, 2, 1.
The countdown to one of the most anticipated Golden Jubilee events is on. Pan 50 and Food Fest. Saturday, February 10, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on the breathtaking Carriacou. Brace yourself for a night filled with rhythm and melody as we bring you not one, not two, but 7 sensational steel bands on 4 different stages. But that's not all. Calling all foodies. You won't want to miss the food vendors from across the Tri-Island selling only local delights. You will also get to support the local art and craft vendors and purchase unique pieces that capture the spirit of Grenada. So mark your calendars. Saturday, February 10th, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on the Carriacou. Bring your friends, family, and children. This family-friendly event is absolutely free. Pan 50 and Food Fest. See you there.
We going up, going up, going up.
Welcome back. Called the Grenada 50, government unveiled the commemorative $50 note in recognition of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence. This was one of the major activities on the Jubilee calendar of events. Details in this Abigail McIntyre report.
The $50 note is the brainchild of Prime Minister Honorable Dickon Mitchell and was designed by the creative director of the National Organizing Committee, Orlando Romaine. In June 2023, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell proposed the idea of producing a commemorative $50 note to Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank as part of Grenada's recognition of its 50th anniversary of independence. The bank was at first concerned about the time frame in getting the note out, since it takes about 2 years for design and production. But by July 2023, the ECCB secured the approval from the Monetary Council by a unanimous vote. The note is a legal tender and can be used commercially throughout the currency union, which means while it will only be circulated in Grenada, it can be spent in other ECCU member countries. Prime Minister Honorable Dickon Mitchell announced also that Grenada is now the first in the OECS region to have a commemorative note produced specifically to mark a 50th anniversary of independence. The Grenadian leader says the note is a unique representation of all things Grenadian.
It is a mixture of personalities, landmarks, and things which are uniquely Grenadian. You'd also appreciate that Grenada's national colors are extremely vibrant. And so, bearing in mind that the governor and his team wanted to make sure that the notes did not stand out too much from the rest of the OECS notes, given the vibrancy of its colors, the creatives and the minters had to work some magic to work with what are clearly, both individually and collectively, very, very vibrant colors. But I think when you see the note, you would appreciate their genius in accomplishing this. So, what would we see on the notes? We would see 3 iconic national figures. I will await the unveiling of the note to identify who those figures are. We would see iconic landmarks. We would see national symbols. And collectively, when you see them, you know indisputably it is a note for Grenada, about Grenada, and to inspire Grenada.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Dr. Timothy Entwine, hopes the note will inspire the Grenadian people for generations to come.
Envision what could be and should be in our beautiful Isle of Spice. Envision what it will take and what will be your contribution to doubling the size of the Grenadian economy over the next 10 years for example. And permit me to be pellucidly clear. The big push challenge, as I refer to it, is a lot more than economics. In fact, fundamentally, it is about doubling the space and opportunities for every single Grenadian to fully maximize their time, talent, treasure, testimony, touch, and trust. And to do so in service to themselves, yourselves, your families, your country, our country, and to our humanity.
For the GIS Week in Review, I am Abigail McIntyre.
It was a contemplative moment of recognition at the wreath-laying ceremony at the gravesite of the father of independence, Sir Eric Matthew Gary. On the morning of Independence Day, February 7th, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell joined his cabinet colleagues, Senator the Honorable Claudette Joseph, Honorable Dennis Cornwall, and Honorable Philip Telesford, alongside Archbishop Marshall of the Anglican Church and Ambassador Marcel Gary, daughter of Sir Eric.
Bless the grave of Sir Eric, that it will be a reminder to us that his mortal remains lie there. However, Lord, an inspiration to us who pass by, who visit, for the contribution he has made. And this we ask in the name of Christ Jesus, our Lord. Amen.
Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell used the opportunity to remind citizens of the contributions of Sir Eric, noting that he will always be remembered for birthing a new era in Grenada's history.
Mr. Gary, we are here because of your father. We are here at this moment in our history because of your father. And so it's only fitting that we should start this beautiful day in paying tribute to him at his graveside. His spirit remains indomitable. His spirit remains an inspiration to Grenada and to the next generation of Grenadians, because the work he has started is yet to be completed, and we owe it to him and to those who came before him to ensure that we continue to use him as our inspiration, that we continue to aspire, build, and advance together as one people. Because when he returned to Grenada from Aruba, he spent the remainder of his life in service to the people of Grenada. I don't know that we can ever repay him or acknowledge him enough. It is because of his vision, his courage, his hard work, his determination, that Grenada as a nation state came into being.
Senator Claudette Joseph says she is pleased to be a part of the writers of Grenadian history and thanks Sir Eric for his courage in leading the country through a difficult period in time.
As we celebrate today our 50th anniversary of independence, we pause for a moment to recognize and remember and pay homage to the father of our independence, father of Marcel, Sir Eric Matthew Gary. And in the last few days, we heard quite a lot about the moments and the days leading up to independence and the resilient spirit and the fortitude of Sir Eric came through when we listened to the various versions, the opposition he faced in the days leading up to independence, and the fact that when our flag was first hoisted, it was done in complete darkness with just a little light from some floodlights, I am told, where generators were used to have some floodlights up on Fort George, candles and flashlights. And I guess just like the man himself was, that's how independence was ushered in, because indeed Sir Eric was a shining light in an era of darkness.
Hundreds of Grenadians and visitors filled the National Cricket Stadium on Wednesday to mark the country's 50th anniversary since gaining independence on February 7, 1974. The Golden Jubilee celebration was held under the theme One People, One Journey, One Future, a theme that Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says resonates well as the heart of a nation is its people. During his address at the national event, Prime Minister Mitchell said with the successes gained as a result of Sir Eric's efforts, there is the need to honor his memories and contributions along with those who have fought for a brighter future over the years.
Sir Eric Matthew Gary, with the baton passed to him, shook the fabric of our society by social and political revolution of the 1950s. And armed with a mandate from the population, obtained this nation's independence 50 years ago, to this date, from British colonial political rule. In doing so, he turned on its head the anemic and limited view that small countries like Grenada were not viable. So it is clear today that 50 years later, we can say that Sir Eric was emphatically right. We can say that Sir Eric was emphatically correct.
Grenada's independence journey, Prime Minister says, has been one of resilience and progress, and in the face of many challenges, we have shown unity and strength. This remarkable journey has been the defining factor shaping the nation's continued quest to build a better Grenada with better opportunities, cohesiveness, and equal and fair treatment for all.
For this bright future to be realized, it will require a shared commitment from all of us, recognizing that the seeds we plant today will blossom into prosperous fruits tomorrow if we continue to work towards our shared goals. But we must plant now. We need to foster an environment where opportunities are accessible to all, regardless of background, gender, or socioeconomic status. So let us work towards eliminating disparities, ensuring that the benefits of our nation's progress reach every corner of Grenada. Let us empower marginalized persons and communities so that they too can enrich lives and communities, can enrich their lives and communities. Because we know that social cohesion and unity are the bedrocks of a successful nation.
Prime Minister Mitchell also used the opportunity to highlight what he calls heroes and sheroes who, like Sir Eric Gary, worked diligently towards a better Grenada for all.
I highlight our heroes and sheroes, those who work at the forefront of our country and those who labor tirelessly behind the scenes, ensuring that our country moves forward no matter what. Believe it or not, our heroes and our sheroes come from all walks of life. Our police officers, our teachers, our doctors, our nurses, our orderlies, our farmers, our fishermen and fisherwomen, our construction workers, our cleaners, our drivers, our musicians, our artists, our sportsmen and women, and all the workers of this nation who have built and shaped our communities. Our national heroes are none other than you, the people who have fought a little more than others.
It was a day of splendor and patriotism as Grenadians near and far converged at the National Stadium, adorned in national colors, to commemorate the island's 50th anniversary of independence on Wednesday. Celebrated under the theme One People, One Journey, One Future, organizers surely delivered on the promise to stage a celebration with a difference. From the Made in Grenada Expo, where local craftsmen and women and entrepreneurs showcased their products and services, to the military parade from the Melville Street Barracks to the stadium, the inspection of the ranks, cultural entertainment from choirs, dancers, and local performers, and displays by the Bikers Association. One highlight of the celebration was the much anticipated magical drone show, where over 500 drones displayed various aspects of Grenada's history and its journey to the future. Here are some highlights of February 7th.
Look up into the sky.
Until Christopher Columbus
This is it, ladies
and
and
his
gentlemen.
explorers arrived on
Magic.
their Spanish ships
Thank you.
in 1498.
Beautiful,
Once
beautiful
spotted,
bikers.
European appetite for
Here we
conquest
go.
prevailed as the French sailed to the islands. Then the British came, trying to build replicas of their society on the backs of the African enslaved.
$500 drones in the sky.
Shackles bound feet and hands. But freedom lived in the heart of the African man. And he fought. She fought. We fought and rebelled. And in 1838, they obtained emancipation. While emancipated, we remained subjugated, satellites of imperialism, status quo the same. But Grenada began to carve its own lane. We possessed gold, black gold, nutmeg, and we became the world's second largest producer. But one thing Grenada lacked was homegrown leadership in essence, which was soon realized in Sir Eric Matthew Gerry. Uncle Gerry, as he was affectionately known, carried us further away from the throne and into self-reliance, organizing the working class, fighting for better conditions and wages and adult suffrage. Naturally, Sir Eric Matthew Gerry stepped up, guiding the island in 1974 to independence. But our journey to independence was not a walk in the park. On February 7th, the flag was hoisted in the dark, a harbinger of the times to come. Social unrest exploded into a revolution. Maurice Bishop came to power, preaching nationalism and self-reliance. Forward ever, backward never. A small island would take on a giant. A tumultuous time that was marred by power struggle. But Grenada and its people stayed the course, resilient and brave, like the bougainvillea flower. As the islands continued to grow, so did the richness of our culture, ever present in our festivals and traditions, like carriacou big drum dancing, that pays homage to our ancestors, And what better way to encapsulate the fighting spirit that our ancestors had than by adorning the horns and the old oil in representation of the jab. This spirit lives on still in Grenada.
I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job. They go off to say I'm mad. I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job. They go off to say I'm all your pump, all your jump, all your wave, all your wine, all your. Take a picture, make a pose. They never see jab like those. Jab fingers, jab toes. This jab don't have no clothes. Go on exit in my brain. A snake is me only chain. Black blood running through my vein. It more than me than cocaine. I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job. They go off to say I'm mad. I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job. I play no wicked job.
We navigated more difficult situations. We rebuilt after the wrath of Hurricane Emily and Ivan.
If I take time and I write down all the things that I love on my island, best believe the list gon' be like 5 miles long. Best believe it's love that makes me sing this song. The cleanest breeze on the waters, friendly people meeting every corner.
In those times, direction was sure. Leadership and guidance was administered under the capable hands of Dr. Keith Mitchell, Grenada's longest-serving Prime Minister. He helped to build back much of our infrastructure. Once again, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique rebuilt. And their pride again stood tall, extending from their new homes and nutmeg trees to the beaches, rivers, and waterfalls. And we expanded intentionally, not by chance, committed to the tenant, to aspire, build, advance. One man represented a country's ambition. Kirani James, winning Olympic gold, successful at the highest level of competition.
To describe what my country mean to me. So much things we take for granted, but so much things they give to me. Peace and tranquility, family, community. It no matter where we go in the world, just know that the woman's where my heart is.
So as we celebrate 50 years of independence, 50 years of growth and resilience, we should remember we do so as one people, on one journey, towards one future.
Meanwhile, the local National Organizing Committee overseeing plans for Grenada's 50th anniversary celebrations has expressed immense satisfaction with the execution of the milestone events in recognition of the country's Golden Jubilee. This was announced during a post-celebrations press conference held by members of the NOC on Friday. Activities marking the country's 50th anniversary of independence started in November 2023 with an official launch of the year-long celebrations, which is being executed on a phased approach. The National Organizing Committee has just concluded 17 major events in the second phase, known as the celebration phase, and is now in the preparatory stages of phase 3, which will focus on heightened public education through intellectual and academic engagements. Gail Purcell, head of the National Organizing Committee, highlighted what can be expected in the next phase.
Rolling out of this, Carriacou completed their parish celebrations in January under the leadership of Ms. Amanda Jack, and we're rolling into March with St. Patrick's Parish events and April with St. Mark Parish events. So you will, while some of the major, what we call national events may have completed, it is by far over. We have a number of things still to complete. We're rolling into the phase 3 and 4 of what we would call, where we will see other things taking place like our national awards. In this next phase, you'll see us probably focusing more on our, not probably, but definitely focusing more on our self-identity issues, more public education, some of the things we spoke about in launch as it relates to the renaming of streets and different monuments, and also the development of the Heroes Park, which was talked about early in the game.
Also at the press conference was Creative Director with the NOC, Mr. Orlando Romain, speaking on Vision 75. Mr. Romain said that Grenada's vision is one that should be approached with meaning, setting the pace for the next 25 years.
From a government standpoint, we have, no doubt that the building of this country will take the hands of every Grenadian, the minds of every Grenadian, the hearts of every Grenadian. And I think this re-energized person, so the road forward is to ensure that we can contextualize all the joy and energy that we feel into actual action, right? And the rollout of Vision 75, which is the plan for the next 25 years, was no coincidence. We wanted to ensure that persons have a very clear idea as to where Grenadians articulate that the country should go within the next 25 years, articulate that and ensure that a structural plan is laid out for them to participate in that process. So what we're going to be doing is trying to leverage that energy to get all Grenadians on board with Vision 75.
We take our first break. Please stay with us.
I'm a VIP. I'm vaccinated. I'm a VIP. I'm immunized.
Are you a VIP? Have you taken the necessary steps to safeguard your child's health? Let's get it right. Get your child on their vaccination schedule. Our national protection and coverage is our national priority. Our actions will impact Grenada's health and wellness. Let's make childhood immunization and vaccination number one. I am Senator Jonathan Lacrette, your Minister for Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, and I am a VIP champion. Let's make all our children VIPs, vaccinated, immunized, and protected.
Let's all be VIP champions.
A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Be a VIP Childhood Vaccination and Immunization Campaign in collaboration with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back. The government of Grenada welcomed a high-level delegation from the Republic of Ghana, led by its president, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, marking the first by an African president since the 1980s. The president's visit included his attendance at the National Cricket Stadium, where he sat as the Prime Minister's guest of honor at Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence celebrations. Prior to arriving at the stadium, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell met with with Ghana's president at the Silver Sands Hotel to sign a memorandum of understanding on cooperation on culture, trade, and education between both countries. Noting the importance of culture, education, and trade to the well-being of all citizens, both Prime Minister Mitchell and President Akufo-Addo believes the MOU will serve their common interests. Coming out of this signing, some of the initiatives may include cultural exchange programs, business and investment forums, educational exchanges, and knowledge-sharing platforms within the Afro-Caribbean brand. 3 distinguished ambassador designates presented their letters of credence to Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagranade on Monday. The event held at the residence of the Governor General marked a significant moment in strengthening bilateral ties between Grenada and the nations of the United States of America, Sweden, and Ghana. Ambassador Designate of the United States of America, His Excellency Roger F. Hinus, commits to assisting in areas of climate change, regional security, and health.
As we reflect on the past half-century, it is evident that our enduring partnership has seen us join together to face challenges and reach important milestones. Looking ahead, we remain committed to deepening these ties, exploring new avenues of cooperation, and fortifying the strong foundation that has defined our diplomatic relationship. The United States remains a steadfast partner and neighbor to Grenada. On behalf of President Biden, whom I know, I express with great pride the sincere commitment to continue working with Grenada as an equal and strategic partner in the region and around the world.
Ambassador Designate of Sweden, Mr. Anders Bengten, says his country is always willing to assist, especially through the Green Climate Fund.
The government of Sweden is keenly aware of the destructive impact of climate change here in Grenada and across the Caribbean. We understand the urgent need to build resilience, to withstand and reduce the devastation of successive natural disasters. And we take our global responsibilities seriously to assist the Caribbean in these efforts. Sweden is thus a major contributor to the Green Climate Fund and the Global Environmental Facility. Both of these entities cooperate with the government of Grenada to provide funding and technical expertise to combat climate change and build resilience.
Ambassador Designate of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Samuel Yah Nisa, also presented his letters of credence to Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagranade. This visit by the Ghanaian ambassador also marks a treasured moment in Grenada's history, a momentous occasion as his first visit also included attending the Independence Day activities at the National Stadium. Ambassador Nisa noted that Grenada and Ghana are notably similar with their cultural and colonial heritage and looks forward to strengthening the ties between both people.
I thank you for graciously accepting that I present my letters of credence to you this afternoon as non-resident High Commissioner of the Republic of Ghana to your country. Ghana and Grenada are two countries with a common historical, cultural, and colonial ties. Fate split and separated us for centuries. However, our separation over time and space should strengthen our resolve to deepen cooperation in all spheres of life. The decision by President Akufo-Addo to honor the invitation by the Honorable Prime Minister as a special guest of honor on the occasion of the independence anniversary celebration of this country attests to the fact that the government and the people of Ghana want a better and stronger bond of relations with our people in your country.
Grenada and Ghana established diplomatic relations in 1983. Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagranade noted that there are numerous opportunities for a transformative partnership.
Grenada and Ghana stand on the brink of a transformative partnership with several possibilities for collaborative endeavors in areas such as renewable energy, given Ghana's growing renewable energy sector, climate resilience, through the sharing of knowledge and expertise in climate change adaptation and mitigation strategies, agricultural innovation through the sharing of best practices in sustainable agriculture, education and training through the formation of partnerships between academic institutions as well as student exchange programs, culture through cultural exchanges, art exhibitions, and collaborative projects, and trade and investment, given Ghana's location in West Africa and its growing geopolitical influence. We look forward to even closer relations in the coming years as we endeavor to form new alliances and strive to strengthen South-South cooperation.
Once there is unity, the trajectory will only be upward. Words of Reverend Dr. Osborne James, minister and moderator of the Presbyterian Assembly, as he delivered the sermon at the interreligious service held recently in commemoration of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence. Reverend James said a country focused on promoting self-resilience, unity, and development will realize tremendous positivity and growth. Leadership, he emphasized, must be people and country-centered.
When we are united and have a goal to which we are committed for the long haul, there is nothing that we Grenadians cannot accomplish and overcome. When each citizen comes to the realization that we are one people on one journey with one future, our trajectory will only be upwards. While handouts may be necessary as part of safety net programs, government partnering with industry, civil society, and religious community must focus more on facilitating self-reliance by providing hands up rather than handouts. My third point follows the other two. If we are ever to move forward as one people towards a common future, we must make factionalism obsolete and frustrate lawlessness wherever it manifests itself.
Chairman of the Grenada Conference of Churches, Bishop Clyde Harvey, said it is important for a country to be aware of its identity so that the course ahead towards the next 50 years becomes clearer.
The fundamental question is, as we face 50 and 100, who are we becoming as Grenadians? What does it mean to be a Grenadian? What will it mean for us as the future unfolds? Those are the fundamental questions, because we could have a lot of prosperity and not know who we are. But thanks be to God that we are able as a people, and we've had that kind of leadership over years, which has challenged us to look and look again and again and who we are becoming.
Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagranade, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and his cabinet members, Opposition Leader Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and opposition ministers, Acting Commissioner of Police Don Mackenzie, and other senior members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, and China's Ambassador to Grenada, His Excellency Wei Hongxian, attended the National Church service. Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagranade, as part of activities to mark the country's 50th anniversary of independence, held a fundraising gala at the Radisson Crown Ballroom Grandance on February 3rd in aid of the restoration of Government House that stands in ruins since the passage of Hurricane Ivan, September 7, 2004. The gala was attended by Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell and members of his cabinet, diplomats, locals, and returning nationals. In addressing those in attendance, Her Excellency Dame Cecile expressed her gratitude for the overwhelming support towards the initiative, which she says has been on her priority list since being installed as the country's head of state.
Many of you may know that the restoration of Government House has been uppermost on my agenda since I assumed the office of Governor General, not just because of its historic architecture, but also its symbolic representation of state leadership and its important role throughout our path from colonialism to independence. 20 years later, from its destruction by Hurricane Ivan, it is time and fitting to rebuild and restore Government House to its former glory. I am therefore extremely heartened by the overwhelming support you have given to this worthy cause, and deeply grateful for the contributions made by each of you, whether present here tonight or watching us live on YouTube from your home, as well as from citizens abroad in the various diasporic communities.
Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says the purpose of the gala, which goes towards the restoration of Government House, is a welcomed initiative and long overdue.
It's almost 20 years since our head of state has not had an official residence. That is perhaps not one of the things we would be too proud of. The residence of the Governor General is not just a home, but as indicated by the Master of Ceremonies, it is an institution that dates back to the 17th century. And so to a large extent, the political and legislative history of Grenada is in one way or the other defined by the Governor General's house. And so if we are to preserve our history, our heritage, and to cherish the remarkable journey that Grenada has embarked upon, restoring the Governor General's house is not just about restoring a place for the Governor General to reside in, but it's really about preserving our history, teaching our history, so that the next generation of Grenadians would appreciate the remarkable journey that this island in the sun took, so that we can celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence today.
It was the general consensus of attendees at the gala that the initiative was worthwhile, and they are pleased to support a worthy cause.
It's something that has been pending for a pretty long time, and it's a golden opportunity when a lot of people from the diaspora are here, and they'll be happy to participate in such an event and make a contribution towards that great institution.
I think it's important. It's a pity that the British government themselves are not trying to do more, because quite frankly, the residence of the Queen's representative is important not only to us but to the Queen. So I would have thought that the Queen, or the King as it is now, will do more, but I think it's a good initiative on the part of the Governor General. I know she's been very passionate about it. It's a historic site for all of us. So I think we should do what we can. In the absence of our colonial masters helping, we have to help ourselves, and I think that maybe is something we need to think of as we move forward, hopefully, to becoming a republic.
These symbols are important in terms of how a nation, to me, view itself and what they think about themselves. And to have the GG residence done for 20 years, and now the GG herself trying to raise funds to restore it, tells us a lot about who we are and where we are as a people. So I'm proud to support this initiative. I want to encourage others to support not only tonight but beyond tonight, and of course for the government to find ways and means of accelerating the restoration of the Governor General's residence.
I think it's totally worth it, and if it was 1,000, I would still be here, because it's for a very, very good cause, because Government House is a fixture in Grenada. So I feel great to be a part of this.
We take another break. More news when we return.
Your new GRENLEC bill is even easier to read and still has all the valuable information you need to track and manage your usage.
Hey Mom, okay, your friendly tech support is here. So you got the new GRENLEC bill? Let's take a look. The new bill makes it even easier to see your bill total, the due date, and much more. And take a closer look. It actually is a lot easier to understand. Let me show you. You can still see exactly what the charges are for, but in a great new format. It even shows how the cost of generating and delivering the electricity to you is calculated using your actual usage. Anyway, look who says hi, and see you soon.
Your new GRENLEC bill, easier to understand and easier to track your usage.
Welcome back. Miss Shachelle Alves, representing the village of Windward in Carriacou, walked away with the coveted title of Miss Carriacou and Petite Martinique as the island held its 2024 Queen pageant at the Hillsborough playing field last evening. Alves also captured the titles of Best Oral Speech, Best Interview, Best Evening Wear and Costume, and the People's Choice Award on social media. The two Grenadians who participated in the pageant, Miss Soubise Aliyah Henry and Miss Paraclete Kenya Alexander, secured first runner-up and second runner-up respectively. Miss Aliyah Henry also won Best Talent. GIS spoke to the top 3 contestants after the show to get their reactions.
My preparations was indeed an exhilarating yet transformative journey. I was left with so much memories that I will take on forever. Pageantry has always been a lifelong dream of mine, so I decided to just take the initiative and participate to fulfill that dream.
The preparations for this pageant were hasty, as I was noted last minute that I was going to take part. But even though I prepared and I came and I did my best, and it was magical, my team, my chaperone, everything was just a magical experience. My concept going into this pageant was taking you on a journey. Since it is our 50 years celebration of independence, I was taking you from a journey from all the way back from slavery up to now into our celebration. The costume represents vibrancy. As I said, it's our 50th. And everything was just a journey.
Preparations were great. I started to feel more confident in myself. I built my self-esteem while going through this journey. I explored new ideas and I have become a more innovative thinker due to this pageant.
Miss Windward chaperone Patterson Nelson spoke about the journey to the crown. He is already excited about the national pageant in August.
I started working with them and I send out little routines. She'll video call me, we'll go through certain things, question and answer. I send a basic routine for her to learn, to teach her how to walk, all the basic. And then from there, everything just went forward. They gave me concepts of stuff that they like, and I did my own research as well in pertaining to Windward and what her grandfather was a boat builder. So when it comes to the costume, that was one of the things that I kind of like pay attention to, as well as cake dancing. The consistency is what is key. The evening gown, I just wanted something watery and something kind of like whimsical. She's a very disciplined young lady, and hard work and dedication always pays off. I'm really happy that she won the show because at the end of the day, she worked really hard. I came in two nights ago, and 5 o'clock in the morning, we get up, we come to the stage, and we drills. 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, we still going. But at the end of the day, she never gave any inkling that, she was unhappy or she was tired. She always was ready to go.
Miss Alves will represent the Sister Isles at the National Carnival Queen Show in August in Grenada. Meanwhile, the Sister Isles continue to bustle with the excitement as revelers gear up for Carnival over the weekend into the next week. Still to come, the Soca, Groovy and Calypso finals, Juve Monday Night Mass, Tuesday Parade of the Bands, and the traditional Shakespeare Mass. Ambassador of South Korea to Grenada, His Excellency Dong Hil-oh, on Tuesday, February 6th, handed over the keys to 6 of 10 new vehicles to the government of Grenada through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Honorable Joseph Andel, during a brief handover ceremony at the Upper Car Park at the Ministerial Complex, says the gifts comes on the heels of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence, which Ambassador Dong Hil-oh says is the clear demonstration of the friendship between the government of Grenada and South Korea that spans almost 50 years.
In the month of August this year, Korea and Grenada will celebrate once again for the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations. As far as I know, the date is August 4th. And we are planning to do some commemorative events, including visit by the group of cultural performers like fusion and Korean Grenadian music. I hope we can do it in the month of August. Maybe at the last week of August so that we could give you more time for the carnival.
Ambassador O says the mutual relationship between the two countries will yield continued benefits in the years to come.
I'd like to thank the government of Grenada to receive many delegations who visited Grenada last year. Actually, right after my visit to Grenada, and I had the pleasure to see the Honorable Minister again in Bahamas. At the time, he was kind enough to share his precious time for bilateral meeting with the minister in the Ministry of Prime Minister's office. Actually, he later became Minister of Trade and Industry later. And then I think the delegation led by the President of Korean International Trade Association, they made a visit end of February, and I think he had a meeting with the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister here, and also we sent a delegation for agricultural cooperation in the month of August. And then there was another delegation led by the Vice Minister who shared the same family name, O. She was here in the month of November. Now she is the Minister for Small and Medium Industry.
Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, Honorable Joseph Andal, was extremely pleased to accept the keys of the vehicles on behalf of the government, echoing sentiments of gratitude.
I'm extremely pleased to receive on behalf of the government and people of Grenada this generous gift from the government and people of Korea. It could not have come at a better time. And this donation is a testament to the strong and enduring friendship that exists between our two countries and our two peoples. As pointed out by Ambassador, this year will also mark another jubilee, the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Korea and Grenada. It's a relationship that we treasure very much. It is one that has proven to be mutually beneficial, and it can only go from strength to strength as we march forward arm in arm.
And finally, in celebration of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence, the Grenada Development Bank has unveiled its latest initiative, GDB Propel Call for 50 MSME projects aimed at providing funding to entrepreneurs. The call for applications are open to citizens locally or in the diaspora. It's designed to offer training and support to citizens possessing viable business ideas, providing them with the tools and resources necessary to transform their visions into funded realities. As part of the initiative, applicants stand to benefit from a soft loan featuring an exceptionally low interest rate at a maximum of 2%. This financial support is a testament to the GDB's commitment to fostering economic growth and access to funding. Royston Cumberbatch, General Manager of GDB, is proud that the bank can play its role in the celebration of Grenada's Golden Jubilee.
The idea of this particular program is not just funding, but is also developing, as we're a development bank, right? And I always say to people that funding by itself is not development. So the idea here is that we'll call for projects. So what we want is that we want persons to come forward with viable and potentially viable projects. And when we say persons, we mean Grenadians living locally and Grenadians living in the diaspora. Of course, these are for businesses that are based in Grenada, right? And what we'll do, we'll actually work with them to make sure that they can pitch these to a group of experts, which will be the GIDC and the GDB. We may even have potentially, depending on the nature of their project, might even invite persons who are specially skilled or persons who are actually doing these projects at the moment.
Mr. Cumberbatch added the training areas will be on financial planning, budgeting and forecasting, and marketing and sales, among others.
What I have realized is that a lot of small businesses, basically people want to do business. They go into business keenly, but they don't have the training. And as we know, the statistics globally is that actually that 50% of all small businesses actually fail in the first year, right? So we want to make sure that we support, we handhold. And that's why we're going to be working with the GIDC as well to make sure that persons are actually trained. So all who sign up for these projects will be invited to learn to pitch the project.
Preference will be given to entrepreneurs with products and services in the sectors of agriculture, agro-processing, tourism, fisheries, manufacturing, information technology, medical services, and health and wellness. This ends the Week in Review for the week ending Friday, February 9th, 2024. I am Kristen Mitchell, thanking you for viewing on behalf of the news and production team here at the Government Information Service.